Be connected, be heard, be represented, be involved with the Plastics Industry Association. Plastics is the association representing the entire plastic supply chain globally, from materials and equipment suppliers to processors, converters, and recyclers. Partnering with leading brand owners, we give innovative companies the opportunity to shape our industry's future. Benefits include reduced price access to over 35 industry events each year, including one of the world's largest international plastics trade shows, NPE, the Plastics Show. To help your business thrive, Plastics provides valuable connections to industry peers, exclusive economic data, the latest standards and regulatory information, and a voice in every state and the nation's capital. At Plastics, our goal is your success. Visit plasticsindustry.org or call 202-974-5212 to learn more.
Hello, I'm Tony Radoszewski, President and CEO of the Plastics Industry Association, where we represent the entire plastic supply chain. Equipment suppliers, material suppliers, processors, and more. Our membership covers all of it. Now, this gives us an unparalleled perspective on the needs of the industry that all of you at Plastics Caps and Closures Conference are so passionate about. We represent the legislative and regulatory interests of nearly 1 million plastic workers, keeping a finger on the pulse of Congress in Washington, D.C., and all of America's state capitals. We produce exclusive economic reports for members, set ANSI-accredited regulations for the entire industry, and host a wide range of events touching every corner of the market, including our premier event, NPE, the largest plastics trade show in the Americas. I know that the website calls Plastics Caps and Closures Conference a must-attend event, but this isn't just marketing talk. This is an event that allows for discussions that will make a genuine difference for the industry, and without exaggerating, the entire world. Now, one of the most exciting aspects of the plastics industry is the amazing level of pragmatic creativity that you are all renowned for. In that vein, we have some very impressive finalists for the running of the 2021 Plastics Caps and Closures Innovation Award, including the VisiCap, a cap for spouted pouches from the team at CheerPet North America. The Closure for Pump in a Drum project from Riverdale Global, a plastics member company, which is a unique closure for an industrial packaging application that is used in a closed, returnable drum containing liquid color. And finally, the Zippy Cap from Zippy Planet LLC, a reusable twist cap with a built-in silicone straw. Now, we wish all of the finalists the best of luck. And lastly, I want to thank Don Lepp and the team at Plastics News for inviting me to say a few words, and I'll be looking forward to hearing the great ideas that come out of your discussions. On behalf of all of our members, I want to thank you for coming together to discuss issues, insights, and new technologies that will contribute to the bright future awaiting our industry. Thank you.
Welcome to the final session of the 2021 Plastics Caps and Closures Conference Virtual Edition. I'm Plastics News Editor Don Lepp, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to the folks behind the 3 finalists for our annual Innovation Award, and then announce the winner. This is a live session, so viewers can submit questions and comments using the Q&A icon on the right side of your screen. As I mentioned, we have 3 finalists this year, and their products are about as different as you can imagine, while still qualifying as plastic caps and closures under our criteria. Let's watch a video so we can see the products close up. Next, let me introduce one of the individuals from each of the finalist companies. First up, let me introduce Kevin Cabana, Vice President of Operations at Riverdale Global LLC. Viewers may know Kevin and Riverdale as a supplier to plastics processors, but he's here today in a different role. Kevin, for those who don't know you, tell us about yourself and Riverdale and about your pump and a drum closure.
Good afternoon, Don, and thanks for having us. And we're certainly honored to be considered for this as a finalist. Riverdale Global is a leader in the industry in liquid colorants as well as additives. And one of the things that we know is important to our users is the sustainability effort. So we have invented the pump and a drum design, which keeps the liquid color sealed inside of the container during the metering process and the handling process. Tying into that design, we've incorporated, although we're not a closure company per se, we've designed a cap that seals off the liquid color port on top of the container when the tube set is not in place. Now, this is the color port. Looks very simple in design, but it does have some very important intricacies to it. There's a vent screw in the top of the container. So to keep that contained, the design does keep that screw captured. The color port does have handles, so it can index on and off of the container for opening and closing, as well as an O-ring to seal off the color port when the container is not in use. If you think about the time that it may spend in a warehouse or next to a machine, it's very important to keep those contaminants out of the color port. So when it is in use, we're sure that everything is pristine. So something as simple as the pivoting color port cap has hardware that only attaches from the underside to prevent any chance of tampering. So, there's a lot of exciting things that went into this design. It in fact is molded on a McGuire invented molding machine that doesn't run off of typical hydraulics and chilled water. It runs off of 110 volts and compressed air. So it's another nifty design and one that we're quite proud of. So we are able to produce these all in-house, and we feel that it really enhances the design. So thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. That's cool. I look forward to seeing that unique molding machine someday.
Excellent. Be happy to.
So next, let me introduce Al Madonna. He's Vice President of Marketing for CheerPack North America. CheerPack's new product this year is called the VisiCap. Al, tell everyone a little bit about yourself, CheerPack, and the VisiCap.
Sure. Thank you, Don. My name is Al Madonna. We are very honored to be one of the 3 finalists. In terms of CheerPack, we are a manufacturer of spouted pouches and caps. We were founded in 2009, so a fairly young company. We're proud to announce that we just made our 6 billionth pouch and cap this past summer. So we've been fortunate enough to experience incredible growth. We have, in terms of markets, we really grew up in the baby food industry, and so it was critical in terms of quality. And our systems really have been incorporated into every aspect of our business. Applesauce is another major category. In the past few years, we see the opportunity with flexibles, which are growing incredibly, especially since the pandemic, and e-commerce, where it's really an ideal packaging format. It's very lightweight. So this is an example in terms of what we offer. And so we've also enjoyed success with new categories such as refrigerated yogurt, even ice cream, sauces, and now non-food. We're offering multi-serve pouches as well, including an inverted pouch. So you can see, though, our cap here, you may recognize, is formerly known as a baby cap. We call it the Cheer Classic cap. And the genesis for Visi was sitting down with Steve Gosling, who is our founder and president and leads our innovation. And we do have an innovation department. So we looked at it and said, we know that sustainability is in top of minds for our customers and the consumer. how can we take weight out and really meet that first metric, preferred metric in the hierarchy of sustainability? So we created a few prototypes, different prototypes. We went out with the prototypes to the brand owners. They did consumer market research, came back with that data, and that was the how we created the VisiCap. So it's a redesigned cap, and there's several deliverables with the VisiCap. One is less plastic. And the challenge was a couple. It still had to not fit into the choke tube, which it does accomplish. So it's child-proof safe. So it can still be used with baby food or applesauce or any other product that needs that requirement. Secondly, we've introduced some ribbing for sure grip, whether torquing it on or off. Third is improved visibility and tamper evidency. Just kind of comparing these side by side. Once the consumer breaks it, 4 legs come down to show that it has been opened. And you can see by bringing up the profile, it improves the visibility of the tamper evidency, which is a big benefit. We know retailers especially are looking for that deliverable. And lastly, the challenge was in designing this, it ideally would run in our current filling machines. We have a co-packer network across North America, as well as our brand owners. And ideally, we could have delivered a solution where it's either little or no impact in terms of CER. And we've been able to, we believe, deliver that. Of course, the co-packer will have to run the product and confirm that. So those are the deliverables. We're very excited to be one of the final three finalists. And again, appreciate the consideration. So thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for sharing your story today. We really appreciate that. So finally, let me introduce Daniel Reitman. He's Chief Marketing Officer at Zippy Planet LLC in Port Washington, New York. He's going to tell us a little bit about an innovative product that they've developed called the Zippy Cap. Daniel, tell us about yourself, Zippy Planet, and the Zippy Cap.
Absolutely. First off, thank you, Don, for having us here. We are honored to be finalists here. So Zippy Cap, it is a universal fit twist cap that has a built-in reusable straw. My co-founder, they have some lovely kids, and when they were younger, they were a bit, they'd spill things, they'd shake the bottle, and it would make a mess. And they came up with this idea of, like, it'd be great if I had something that could just pop it in that would fit on all sorts of different bottles and would make my life easier. So that's how Zippy Cap kind of came to be. Now, it's a very easy to use product. It fits on keychains. It's made in the United States. Very easy to use. You just pop this out and then turn this guy right here. And then you got your straw. Pops right out. So this fits onto most bottles, and it basically turns any bottle into a reusable bottle. It makes it a lot easier if you have kids. This also is great from a senior citizen perspective. So you've got people with Parkinson's, MS, any sort of situation that there's going to be spilling. It's also great for when you're in the car, you're going to the gym, when you're traveling. COVID was something that obviously everyone's nervous about. It's something that keeps your drink protected. We wanted to make a product that was easy to use, fun, effective, and that's how we landed on Zippy Cap. So we have launched on Kickstarter. We raised $45,000. We did that within our first 24 hours. We are going to be going to market later this November. We are a direct-to-consumer product. We're going to be going the e-com route. And we have a few stores locally in New York that are showing interest, but we will eventually go the retail route. And early 2022, we are going to be launching on Amazon's Launchpad. So we are a startup. So we are honored to be up here with companies like our fellow finalists who have sold billions of units. So thank you just for having us up here. And on behalf of my co-founding team, we're honored and thank you. And thank you for your time.
Sure. Again, thank you for sharing your story with our viewers today. I want to remind people that we're going to start in the Q&A now. As a reminder, viewers can send questions in via the Q&A, so please do that. I'm going to start us off with a question for Al. So Al, this is you talked about wanting to reduce the amount of material that was used. So I would imagine that that was one of the goals. Tell me about the goals that you had for this product at the beginning, and then were you able to achieve what your goals were?
Sure, Don. That was the primary goal, was reducing weight. Brand owners in the market research that we conducted said that's number one. If we could take weight out and still retain the performance and still run in the current filling machine. So from an engineering standpoint, we did a lot of prototyping work. And what we actually achieved with the Visi is for every 10 million units, we are saving 5.3 tons versus our current cap. And with other players in the industry, it could be 4 tons every 10 million caps. So it's a significant amount. The carbon footprint is equivalent to taking 2 cars off the road in terms of the calculation. So that was the primary one. The others improve visibility, tamper evidency, a better grip, and of course, it has to still not go down the choke tube, so it is child safe. Yeah.
Kevin, tell me about the product that you replaced with your new pump and a drum closure, and what were your goals in what was existing, what problems were you trying to solve?
Sure. Traditionally, liquid color was sold in 5-gallon pails or 30-gallon drums, and it was obviously very important to our customers that the amount of material that was potentially lost in the bottom of those containers. So we've come up with the Return for Refill program, which allows our customer to use, say, 90% of their material, and the remnants that are left in the bottom, they're able to send that back to us, and we credit them for that. So they're getting 100% usage of their material. They're receiving a nice credit back, which is something that's been very popular, as well as it's really important that these containers aren't ending up in a landfill. So our whole seal design plays into that, with the sealed pump and a drum on the top, and the closure that we're nominated here today, which performs the sealing of that color port to assure that our customers' color port and their liquid lines are clean and pristine. So it's been very, very important to us to contribute to the sustainability, and I believe we've answered the customers' calling for finding a way to get usage out of all the product that they've paid for.
Great. So Daniel, you're a startup here, and I would imagine that of the various people here, your company had the least amount of experience when it came to choosing plastic materials and choosing plastics processes and knowing all that. So how did you get up to speed on that? And going back to the beginning, were you thinking this needed to be a plastic product, or were you thinking, were you open to other materials as well?
So there was a lot of trial and error in the beginning. This is a product that's been in the works for years now. But our U.S. manufacturers were incredibly helpful in giving us a lot of guidance. It's something that, we recognized that we wanted to have something that was durable, but that also, had the ability to be made from recycled materials. So that was really the goal. But in the beginning, again, very new to the product space. My co-founder and I had worked in technology before this, but we saw a problem. We wanted to come up with a solution, and thanks to the manufacturers we work with, we were able to really kind of stand on their shoulders in terms of their experience and get us to this final product here now. So we're very excited to be here.
Okay. We'll go back to I'm sorry. We'll go to Al. I'm sorry. So Al, let's talk about the design itself, and maybe go into some more detail about what's unique about it versus what you had already and some of the other existing products that are in the market. What makes this a unique closure?
Yeah, Don. So what I think it's really kind of an integrated solution. in terms of reducing packaging. And also, it's also in conjunction with our about to be launched recycle ready product called Chia Circle. So it's really a total package solution as it relates to flexibles. So we've reduced the amount of plastic in the cap with Visi. And so it's a redesigned cap, taking out that weight, improved tamper evidency. It will run on our current fillers. And in conjunction with Chia Circle, it really is a compelling story in terms of a value prop for a brand owner to go out to the consumer and say, hey, we're working on our 2025 goals. And here's a tangible example that hopefully we can help them in terms of messaging accurately, factually, and in a way that helps them meet their objectives. So we're proud of it, and we're targeting a full launch of 2022 Q1. So that's the Visi.
Okay. So I think we'll get back into you're foreshadowing some things that we can try to touch on later.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but that's fine. So Kevin, let me ask you a question first. I think people think form follows function. Your closure actually looks like it's got a lot of technology there. What was necessary to do this? Is it the way that the product is shipped, the way that it's handled? Is it the material that's inside? What makes this product have to be such a complex thing in order to work? And I think it probably has to do with all of those things. Right?
It really does, Don. It does. First and foremost, we wanted to make sure that we were protecting the liquid color port. When this closure is intended to be used, the vent screw that's shown here, the vent screw is backed out of the vent hole, and then you can loosen the cap to access the color port. So there's a couple of important things there, that the closure stays with the container. It's not in harm's way where it could be broken off or damaged. The vent screw and the O-ring that seal the vent hole are retained within the closure at all times. It's always captured, so someone's not looking for a screw the next time that they have to go ahead and put this in. And ease of use. We were really trying to make this something that enhanced our features and didn't make it more difficult on the customer, or have something that they have to remove and hopefully put somewhere nearby and someone remembers to put it back on. So because it's captive and because the pieces on it are not removable, that really becomes something that's easy for our customers to work with. Additionally, you can see from this view that it's extremely low profile. So that's very important when these containers are nested on top of each other for multiple pail orders that are shipping or for storage in a warehouse. It's very important that the next container that comes down onto the top of this closure, it doesn't impact the bottom of the container and cause any damage there, or it doesn't impact the color port connector that we're showing here. So those things were important for us to give somebody something that was very easy to use, that was very low profile, and retained all the hardware.
Okay. So Daniel, I think you probably worked more with partner companies than the other finalists here today. Tell me about the partners that you worked with. You don't have to identify them if you don't want to, but sort of what they brought to the table in sort of helping you to create a product that worked, yeah, and that you could test it, and that then did you optimize it? Where is this the version that we're seeing here, version 2.0 or version 3.0, or you kind of you mentioned that it took a few years to create this.
So at first we did do a couple of iterations with companies outside of the United States. As many of you have out there probably experienced, it's not always the easiest. Sometimes you're dealing with even just the simple issues of the different time zones and communicating and stuff like that. So we ended up bringing things back stateside, and we went through multiple iterations. It was, again, we were green to the space. It was the kind of thing where we had an idea. We put together our original prototype in, basically in the garage. And then from there, it was getting thoughts on paper. And then, our manufacturing partners, again, were really good about giving us feedback like, hey, I know you want to do it this way, but let's make this adjustment. And again, we really relied a lot on their insight and their feedback. But also, I think anytime you come into a new space or working with a new product, you might be bringing a new perspective to it. And that's what we hope to bring to this space. We know that we are the only ones in the market doing what we're doing. There's plenty of straw companies, and I don't know any companies that make plastic caps that replace a plastic cap on a reusable water bottle. So we are first to market with this product. But again, our manufacturers and the partners that we have worked with, being able to kind of lean on them for their insight, and then also being able to be like, hey, we might not know what we're doing here in terms of being new to the space, but this is what we think we should do. So bringing those two perspectives together have really resulted in us being able to get to market with this product. It's been, again, like I was saying, years of hard work, but we're very excited. It was received very well. Kickstarter, we were, again, funded in 24 hours. We were blown away by that. Indiegogo was through the roof. And, people are, I think parents and a lot of people out there who have sat there and been like, oh, I wish there was just some way to stop him from spilling the apple juice on the seat. This is just a simple solution to a very common problem. And we're really excited, to have worked with the great manufacturing partners that we have worked with and get this to market.
Thanks. So Al, in coming up with the Visi, you touched on a couple of different things. The fact that you've got an innovation center, you created prototypes, you did focus groups and testing. How long did that process take? And is that something that you're used to, or is that something that is new for this product?
So yes, that took about a year, Don, in terms of when we started to create the concepts, and then going out, reviewing the concepts with key customers, coming back and then aligning on 3 or 4 design concepts, and then going to one-up prototypes that we were able to make very quickly in our innovation center. So we were able to order inserts to go into that mold base in a small mold machine, make those actual prototypes, send them out to customers, send it out with a survey, showing the different options and asking for a response. And so that, obviously that takes a little bit as we go through that journey in the stage gate of innovation. So it's about a year. The good news is CheerPack, it's really innovation's the lifeblood of our company. We see a lot of innovation happening in caps and spouts. With a pouch, you can make a different shape. Obviously, there's different structures, different laminates. So we've got a cadence now where we have a pipeline of innovation project ideas that's in the dozens. And our challenge is really to rate these properly and make sure we're working on the most important for our customers in the general market and make sure we're on trend. So this was one example, one tangible one where we made the investment. There was a business case justification, and we have generated a lot of interest and commitments to date. So it's very exciting. It's good not only for our business, but for our customers. It's good for the environment in terms of that savings and the carbon footprint.
I'm a little surprised that no one has mentioned 3D printing yet as one of the tools that they've used. And then maybe if that is something that you've used, let me know about it.
We do, Don. We do have a 3D printer. Yes, absolutely. That would be the first before you actually go to the investment in the stack, the prototype tool.
Okay.
Good point. Yes.
Sure. Daniel, looked like you were saying that it's something that you did.
Oh, no, you're good, Al. No, we use a 3D printing company as well for each prototype iteration. That's been how we just get this to market. I don't know how you guys in this space have been doing this beforehand, but that 3D printing, just being able to do that and not having to go through the whole mold process, like I couldn't imagine how this was done 30 years ago. But like being able to upload that file and get something within a reasonable amount of time, it's definitely a game changer. I'm also super impatient. So being able to send a file, get something produced, get it in my hand within, a couple weeks versus having to like wait months and months and months, it's definitely a lot nicer.
Shortens the product development time for sure. Yeah. Kevin, tell me about the product development for you, because I'm thinking, a color company to have injection molding and mold making and things like that in house. That's really got to help you to bring a product to market quickly too, and also to have knowledge about the plastics that are involved in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the big advantage is that we're part of the McGuire family, and McGuire Products is our parent company, and we really have extremely talented software developers. We have extremely talented engineers. These are all things that we're able to develop in-house. We make these parts. We've developed the mini molder, as I said. We make our own molds in-house. We make our own equipment that meters the liquid color that is tailored to the pump and a drum design. We write the software for that equipment. So all of those things are things within our control. We don't have to pick up the phone with a customer and tell them, well, let us work with this other company and we'll get an answer back to you. We have a solution for them in most cases in the same day. We're able to work through these issues with them, and we have talented folks in-house that really are able to rewrite software, are able to change design very quickly. So we really reap the benefits of being part of the McGuire family, and it's something that we're extremely proud of. We're rolling that now into liquid color manufacturing, which is historically a very manual process. And with the McGuire family, we're working towards automating many of those processes. So it's very exciting what we're working on now in a lot of different areas.
Okay, so this next question is going to be, I'm going to ask it for the group, so that we can take turns answering. Circularity, sustainability, these have been themes this year in our Caps and Closures conference, and I would imagine that those are issues that are very important to your companies as well. Tell me about where your company is in terms of circularity, sustainability, what your theory is, and where this product fits in when we're talking about reduce, reuse, recycle. Can you use recycled materials to make it? Is the product itself recyclable? Well, we start with Daniel on that one.
Yeah, so everything that we are producing is going to be able to be made with recycled materials. So our packaging, the straws, the caps themselves. So our goal as a company, we want to be a carbon negative company. We want to be, we understand plastic is a very important part of just the global economy. We want to be able to do our part as a company to make sure that we are not negatively impacting the planet, not neutrally impacting the planet, but positively impacting the planet. So that's why 1% of all of our revenue is going to be going towards a number of nonprofit organizations that are going to be, helping to reduce carbon globally, as well as help to actually stop the negative impact of what's happening in our oceans, including, the issues of overfishing and things like that. It's something that's one of the core values for us as a company. It's, at the end of the day, doesn't matter what you do, where you live. If the planet's falling apart, it is an issue for all of us. So that is something that we are always going to be focused on, whether it's here at Zippy Planet or any other companies that we're involved in. It's really focusing on sustainability and trying to be a good neighbor to the rest of humanity. So that's our goal for us.
Okay, same question for Al. And Al, I know you're dealing with customers, brand owners who probably also have a sustainability and circularity goal, their own goals. So how do your goals fit in with theirs? Where does your company stand on this?
Yeah, sure, Don. We think we're aligned very well. In fact, we installed, our leaders had the foresight, this is before I came aboard, to install on our manufacturing facility here in West Bridgewater, Massachusetts, solar power panels. Solar panels covering the entire 305,000 square foot facility that generates over 30% of our yearly electrical needs. And we're a big facility with multiple machines and equipment. So I'm very fortunate to be part of this team. That resonates very well with brand owners, our brand owner customers and co-packer customers. So we feel we're in alignment that way from a corporate governance standpoint. And then from a product development standpoint, it is our top innovation priority is to reduce the amount of material, number one. And number two is to come up with a recycle-ready package or a package that contains PCR, post-consumer recycled content. And so that's what this total package is here in terms of the VisiCap taking out weight. And then in terms of the flexible, the laminate offering both a Cheer Circle recycle ready, which is all monomaterial polyethylene. So we cannot call it recyclable. Our counsel to our customers, because the infrastructure is not in place, there have to be some boxes checked. That's a whole nother conversation, as we know. But what we can do as a manufacturer of packaging is create a structure, a package that's ready for future recycling. And we're very excited about this whole package being able to deliver that and help our customers meet their needs. One additional quick point is we also are looking to offer, as part of innovation, flexible film that contains PCR. And we are working with the supplier communities, not only in the flexible portion, but looking to source food contact approved plastic for our cap and spout as well. So those are top innovation projects for us. And we're looking forward. We've learned a lot from our customers, from the APRs and SPCs of the industry, in providing guidance to us to do that. So it is truly a collaborative effort.
Good. Yeah, there's a lot going on the flexible side too, which, at the last K show, everybody was talking about monomaterials and using recycled content. So it sounds like you're on the cutting edge of that one. So Kevin, tell me about the circularity, sustainability. Where does that stand for Riverdale, and and how does this product fit in with that theory?
Yes, Dan. So because the product continues to return to us on the return for refill process, it was very important, as I continue to say, to make sure that we keep the color port clean. So when the product comes back to us, this integral design that stays with it is one of the things that's really enabled us to make the return for refill process successful, and to assure the customer and to assure ourselves that the product that we're receiving back is clean and intact, and we're able to provide the customer back with the credit that they're looking for. So it really completes the package of the pump and the drum design, and closes that sustainability loop for us to assure that we're taking good care of the product that our customers use to manufacture theirs.
Okay. Good. So Daniel, you use Kickstarter. So Kickstarter is interesting, and I wonder how you reached the audience that you did. What was their reaction? I think maybe you're dealing with the public and you're saying, we want to create a product that uses plastic straws. Maybe plastic straws are not the most popular product in the world right now. What was the reaction on social media, through Kickstarter, and how did you deal with any kind of negative reaction that you got to it?
Absolutely. So my background, I guess my skill set is in the marketing area. So we work a lot in the social media space. I'm constantly working with Amazon, BuzzFeed, Chewy. I work in the pet care space and all sorts of other different industries. The internet can be a beautiful place. It can also be a monster. There's always going to be feedback that people give. One of the first things we thought we would do is put this right on the straw itself. Please recycle your bottle, just as a nice clean reminder. And it's a reusable product. So, we're producing this with as much reusable material as possible. And again, anything that can't be made from reusable material, we're going to be offsetting, whether that's through planting trees, working with our partner organizations that are doing fantastic work around the world. And at the end of the day, we want to do everything we can to make our end user happy. But when it comes to the internet, it's always a place filled with lots of different types of feedback. Can't make everybody happy, but we're definitely doing our best. But again, for us as a company, it's important that we are giving back to the planet. And my co-founding team, they've got kids. I'm looking to have kids. I might not be here when stuff starts to fall apart on this planet, but I would like to do everything I can, and I know the rest of my team feels the same way, to leave the earth a little better off than we first got here. And that's really what we try to put out there with all of our marketing material and the way we're engaging with the public. But again, the internet's a beautiful place, and it's always fun being able to get direct and immediate feedback from people. But overall, it's been pretty well received. At first, we got a little bit of pushback, but once we really made it clear, hey, we are looking to produce a sustainable product. We want to be a fully sustainable company. People got behind it. And I think, you had two different camps on the straws issue. I also think that the world as a whole realized straws weren't necessarily destroying the oceans. It's, there's issues with fishing nets and all these other things that are going on, and not sustainable fishing practices. So we want to, as an organization and as a company, focus our efforts on things that are going to help reduce that kind of work and produce a product that is made sustainably.
Okay. So Al, you're dealing with a consumer market. That's a market that's changing a lot. And one of the things I wanted to get into with shipping, I think you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but I would imagine, in the old days, you're creating a product. It's going in boxes, it's going on pallets, it's being taken to a retailer. Now, some of the stuff is going in boxes and going directly to consumers through Amazon or things like that. How has that changed that? And it's got to be a real challenge if you're trying to create a product that can stand up to these shipping, the way products are shipped today, and at the same time use less plastic. How did you do that?
Yeah, absolutely, Don. We're fortunate enough to be making it flexible. So just inherently, a flexible pouch holds up better than a rigid plastic container or a glass container. So, and we've done multiple drop ship tests. They meets Amazon protocol. We've actually doubled the height and it still passes. So it's a very robust structure in terms of flexibles. The spout and cap as well. And again, that was part of the engineering challenge, not giving up too much plastic where you're sacrificing performance. So we've achieved that, we believe. But e-commerce is really a big growth opportunity for flexibles in general and for Chairpack. And that's why we've identified multi-serve containers as well. That will accept different caps. And again, we see a lot of innovation in caps. We're working on additional ones so that they will hold up, whether it's on the shelf or shipping through e-commerce directly to the consumer.
Okay. So Kevin, I would imagine that your product has potential applications in things other than liquid color. Is that something that you've looked at all, or are you hoping, from the springboard of being a finalist for the Plastics News Caps and Closures competition, that maybe some other potential customers who would be able to use this technology will discover that it exists?
Sure, that's something that we're always open to listening to. But when we did design the pump and a drum design, as I said, we designed equipment that works specifically with that. So it really is a family of products that this design really ties into.
Okay. So, Al, I've got a question about other applications for your product. I mean, you said you came up with baby food, applesauce, things like that. But you said it could have potential applications in other products too. Is that something that's new for your company, or have you already kind of dabbled in, I would imagine, cleaning products, things like that?
Yeah, so Don, it's fairly new in the past few years for us. So, we grew up as a baby food applesauce package supplier. But in the past 2 or 3 years, we've identified opportunities in new categories. there's really a seismic shift happening. Sustainability is a big driver, where the consumer, we call them part of the Capri Sun generation. The young consumer has grown up with Capri Sun, recognizes the benefits of flexible packaging. That it's convenient, it's portable, it's durable, and it's minimal weight in terms of wastage, even if it does end up in the landfill. So we've identified categories such as refrigerated yogurt. Even we've been able to partner with an ice cream, a global leader in ice cream that has just launched in our pouch, one of the major brands, and the sales have been very robust. We have a partner in Asia called Hosokawa Yoko. In Japan, there's hundreds of millions of pouches sold for ice cream. And so they were saying, when's North America, US, going to be embracing this? So that's starting. And we see other categories such as sauces, honey, and inverted. We have an inverted pouch. And then in non-food, as you mentioned, we haven't, not so much on the chemical side that we've gained traction, but on the hair care and skin care, we see a lot of opportunity, and we're starting to develop new business there. We've secured new business, and we see the upside as being extremely high.
Okay. I'm going to ask one more question that's going to be directed to all three, but we'll go one at a time. So I'll start with Daniel. But again, this is a question for all three, and this will be our final question. So the COVID-19, the pandemic, what kind of an impact has that had on your company and on this product, the product specifically that you've got? I mean, you're coming to market at a time when there's some specific challenges out there that are not typical. So Daniel, how did COVID-19 affect this product, and does it make it more attractive, less attractive? Was it a challenge?
I think it makes our product a little bit more attractive. Obviously, COVID introduced a whole slew of issues in terms of just the supply chain in general, global shipping, and all that stuff was a bit off kilter. But for us, the product, it really, it's one of those things where it kind of, you're sealing off your drink. It is something that people like, things being a little bit closed, more protected. Now, I know our manufacturers, they did have to put things a little bit on hold for a moment because they were producing face shields and some additional stuff. With, again, we're happy to work with partners like that who are out there trying to do their part and do good things that are, impacting people around the world. So, the short term, there was a little bit of a delay. Other than that, it gave us some downtime to really continue to work on the product, continue to innovate, and keep tweaking it. But at the end of the day, I think it's a product people still want. I think people want to make sure that their drinks are clean and secure. For people, if they're out at a bar or something like that, if they're having a drink out of any sort of reusable bottle, they can protect that. And we are looking to produce products down the line that can be used on beer cans, beer bottles, and things like that. So if you're out at a club or something like that, keeping your drinks safe from people who want to make your life not as safe. So, but long story short, COVID definitely, it had its impact, but I think after all of this, the product is more appealing than it was before.
Sure, and the straw fits under the mask as well, right? Kevin, did COVID have any? Tell me about the impact of COVID on Riverdale and on the rollout of this product. I think Riverdale's business is going pretty well right now, right?
Yes, it certainly is, and COVID's been difficult for all of us. It's been difficult for a variety of reasons. Finding reliable employment. Folks, the workforce, the interruptions in the workforce, but supply chain interruptions, as Dan mentioned. Certainly, those are things that that we're not unique to. But one of the nice things is, as I had mentioned before, is that we have the ability to produce things, to design and produce and develop and manufacture things in-house. So this product and the product line really was unaffected by that because it was within our control. But certainly other things did come into play with supply chain issues on manufacturing supplies and things like that. But that's why we continue to try and develop things internally, so they're really within our control to produce.
And no global supply chain to worry about for you. You're doing it all in house. Okay. And Al, finally, CheerPack. What kind of impact has COVID had on CheerPack and on the rollout of this product? Did it take longer than usual? I mean, you've introduced new products before.
Yes. So in terms of our overall business, first on, we're very fortunate because a lot of our business is shelf stable. So there was actually pantry loading that went on once when the pandemic hit last year in spring. So we scrambled to meet demand. And e-commerce was the second part of it that really boomed. And so again, I believe the channel, the industry recognizes that flexibles is a very strong format, packaging format for shipping through e-commerce. So, and it really hasn't. There was a low dip after the pantry loading in the summer. It bounced back in the fall last year, and it has been extremely high in terms of demand since then. So we're fortunate. We're fortunate that our employees and our community in general have overall been safe. So that's been the impact. And then from an innovation standpoint, the second part of your question, it really hasn't slowed us down. We're fortunate to have had the innovation center so we can continue to develop internally. And our supplier partners have been very supportive throughout. We have a great network in terms of strategic partners.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you. I'd like to thank all three panelists for entering the contest this year, for sharing your story with our viewers. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about the award itself. So all of the nominations for our Innovation Award must include a plastics processor that helped design and develop the nominated cap or closure for the North American market. Nominations also should include all collaboration partners, including brand owners and suppliers. The nominated cap or closure must have launched commercially, either as incorporated into an existing package or available for supply chain distribution during the past year. We judge the entries based on innovation, including design, materials, and process. Ultimately, we want to know how each cap or closure fulfilled a particular market need or process challenge. So with that, let's meet the winner. So congratulations to Al and the team at CheerPack. Al, why don't you give you an opportunity to say a few words?
Thank you, Don. I'm not usually speechless, but what an honor, really. You know, I was in food service prior to coming aboard CheerPack in 2017. And I've met many new people, and I've learned a lot about the flexible industry. My prior background was injection molding, but it's amazing. This honor. We know there's the finalists, you know, Daniel and Kevin and their company. Tremendous innovation there. I was listening to their presentation, so we're very grateful. We're grateful to Crane and Publishing and Plastic News on behalf of CheerPack. I could start with our CEO, Jeff Ward, in saying that this is something we were not anticipating. We were hoping, obviously, that we would be honored with this. Steve Gosselin, who helped really drive this along, he's our president and founder, and then Rich Meyer, on behalf of him, who heads up, he's the VP of operations. The engineering team reports into him. They did tremendous work, really, because as marketers, we come back and say, oh, what if we could do this? And what if we can do that? And they really sat down and looked at different avenues in order to deliver a solution to the market that really benefits our customers, but we can run still internally. We can still meet the tight tolerances, quality as well, led by Chad Smith, who's our director. Just his team, tremendous. A lot of work went into this, and we can't wait to, in terms of showing this at PACX. We're back at our first show, and we would love to be able to communicate that we won this an amazing award. So we're very humbled and honored, really, Don. Thank you and the rest of the Plastics News team, and Colleen and everyone else.
Sure. And thanks also to the Plastics Industry Association for sponsoring the award.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Shout out to Tony Radishevsky and the folks at Plastics. I think that's great.
Absolutely.
We had 3 strong companies this year, 3 strong candidates, and good timing for PAC Expo. So good for you on that one. But thank you again for all the companies and the presentations that you did today. Thank you for our audience for staying with us. And I think we're going to be able to share this video on our YouTube channel at some point in the near future. So watch for it there, anybody who wants to see it again. So thank you once again to Plastics Industry Association, to Riverdale, to Vizzy, Cheerpack, and to Zippy Planet. Thanks very much.